right, also we have guests with us on the program this afternoon. By now, I'm sure we all know them because they're quite regulars on the show. I have Ifeanyi Egbule here with us on the program. She's a renowned broadcaster and publisher and counselor and commentator and everything.
So
why?
Why?
She's an amazing woman. Hi, Ifeanyi.
Good to see you and good to be
you
here
too.
on the show. Sometimes I always say we need to look away from the
Yeah,
very serious things,
yes,
as Alera
yeah.
said. You know, talk about some other serious issues that can be discussed in a very light-hearted manner.
That's right. And also with us is also one of our regulars too on the show. He is a real estate expert. He is a social commentator and also a life coach, Mr. Mustafa Ewela. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Patience. Good afternoon, Alera.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
to have
Thank you for
program.
joining us.
Thank you very much.
Hope you don't feel intimidated.
No, I don't. I don't. It's
He's
all right.
blessed amongst women.
It's all right.
All right, remember the show is quite interactive, especially our topics today. We want you to interact with us. 0708 74075 08, that's the number to send an SMS to.
Or better still, you could just get followers via our social media handles. That is on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Galaxy TV, and also on Twitter at official Galaxy TV. And Yippee, you could get to watch previous editions of the program via our YouTube channel, Galaxy TV Nigeria.
And perhaps while you're watching NEPA strikes, don't worry.
Don't worry.
Just go to YouTube later
And
in the day
subscribe, just have data.
and continue from where you stopped, okay? All right, so let's go straight into the program this afternoon. Our first topic is actually asking the question, is cooking the way to a man's heart? Is cooking really the way to a man's heart? Zonal Police Public Relations Officer Dolapo Badmus, in an Instagram post, explained how Davido's current boo, Chef Chioma, won his heart. And according to her, it has to do with her exceptional culinary skills in the kitchen. According to her, and I quote, "The best way to an African man's soul is through food. All ladies out there should learn how to prepare dishes. No man wants to be eating from restaurants all the time. Homemade food are the best. If you're confused, ask that boy that killed Goliath why after 3 or 4 baby mamas, he is ticking and dotting round about that at chef." However, controversial journalist Kemi Olunloyo reacted to this story, and she doesn't think food can win a man over, and she has expressed her disagreement in reaction to Dolapo's opinion. She wrote, and I quote, "Auntie Olokpa, Dolly Badmus, says that we better know how to cook before we can even find a good man who will put a ring on it. We that have cooked like crazy for different men in our lifetime, Uncle, abeg, superintendent of the kitchen, Nimio, click and follow hashtag HNN food to see my delicacies, and I'm still single. Anyone else notice that Auntie Olokpa has gained weight? Looks like she's the one eating all that homemade food." End of quote. All right, so that poses the question, is it true really that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach? Let's start with Mr. Ewela, because you're a man, so you should know.
Okay, thank you very much, Patience.
You're welcome.
For me, this is a very interesting topic because unfortunately, I'm the only man here, so maybe I can answer that question properly. Yes, they say the way to a man's heart is through food or through his stomach. If you say a way to a man's heart is through his stomach, I'll tell you that you might be right, you might be wrong.
Okay.
Why I say that is that sometimes there are basically more important things than food that a man desires from a woman. But at the same time, I'm going to say that food also is equally very important in a relationship or marriage. Part of the basic need of life, as you all know, food is one of them. And if a woman is able to, cater for that need for a man that she's supposed to marry or she's married to, then I think that woman has done good justice to that aspect of life, which is food. Now, I'll tell you one thing now. In a very clear picture, some men like a woman who can cook very well. Some men, what they look for is not food. There are other things they look for. Now, so what happens to a woman who does not know how to cook? I'll tell you, apologies, not all women can cook, no doubt. And this is strictly linked to sometimes the way the lady was brought up. Maybe she was not fortunate to have a woman, a mother who taught her how to cook.
Okay.
But then what happens to such ladies? The honest truth is that every man likes food, no doubt. For a woman who does not know how to cook, I tell you, you have a lot of things to learn. You have a job to do. Because if your husband likes rice and stew, for example, you don't know how to cook it. And your husband, for example, has a mistress out there who cooks it very well, then your marriage is in trouble.
Because of rice and stew?
Yes,
Okay.
your marriage is in trouble. Like I said, I'll reiterate again, food is very important in a marriage. As a lady, you must know how to cook. Some ladies didn't have that opportunity of learning how to cook good food for different reasons. But of course, these days, you cannot totally rule out technology where you can go on YouTube and learn any kinds of delicacy, any kind of delicacy. We have cases of women who don't know how to cook and they are not ready to learn. Also, we have cases of women who knows how to cook, but they don't have the time because of work.
Yes.
Most times, of course, sometimes you go to work as early as 5, you come back as late as 10, particularly bankers, who are ladies. What do? And of course, their husband likes them to cook for them. Some ladies don't know how to cook, and they have improvised means of having an agreement with the fast food who brings the food to the house when the husband is not home. Truthfully, not knowing how to cook obviously is an imperfection.
So food is very important.
It's important. But lastly, I'll say that not knowing how to cook is an imperfection. But the earlier you let your husband know that, darling, I don't know how to cook this food, but I'm willing to learn, it's better than for you to now start having arrangements with fast foods and then
he finds out.
One day the fast food will bring the food, your husband will be at home. You'll be the one to knock the door. And he'll be like, so I thought you'd be the one cooking this food in a while. So there, the marriage is ready for you.
Because in this scenario, Mr. Winla, they're actually young, they're not married yet. So it's more or less like they're just boyfriend, girlfriend, or probably they're just courting. Let's just put it that way. But this is an African setting. That a lot of men actually get scared to even eat in some ladies' homes because that's just the truth.
Yeah.
You guys are dating, you're not married.
Yeah.
So for you to even have the guts to want eat the food that the woman eats, do you understand? There's always this second thought, she's not your wife yet.
I'm just wondering why how do I call them a couple now? They're not yet married.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why those two persons should be used as an example in the first place. So I would like to toe the path of Kemi. She just hit it on the head.
Okay.
People have moved beyond that stage.
Of course.
Sawela just talked about it now. There are channels that you can go to. Maybe I just should let you guys know. I watch the food channel. I try to experiment with what they do there.
Everyone does that.
Everyone does that. I also know how to cook, and I won't agree with him that there are some people whose parents did not teach. No one will force you to learn.
Yeah.
I grew up in the midst of boys, and all my brothers know how to cook. That's the truth. And we grew up in that environment where you wash your plate after eating. So you must find a way to know what's happening right there in the kitchen. But that said, women have gone beyond that stage. Even some people who are called housewives, I don't want to call them housewives, I want to call them home moms. They even earn better than you and I. They do things online. They are busy. It's not just about cooking, as he said. Man can't live by bread alone. That's the truth. But we need to also understand that there are men who can cook. Yes. I have a friend who's a chef, and he does so well. He cooks so well. So I don't think this is something we should be discussing. As he said, if you cannot cook, let the man know before time. So he knows exactly why he's getting into the marriage or the relationship. Is it because of food? I expect that many men are more sapiosexual now as it is. They want you to stimulate them intellectually.
That's true.
You can get food from anywhere. That's the truth.
But as Africans, we all know that African men have
Patience,
this
leave that
sentiment when
thing.
it comes to native food and
But
and
Patience,
all
but
of that.
there is actually a mentality that is actually changing everything. Now Sundays, normally Sundays is more or less like family days whereby you get to sit at home, cook, do you understand? But these days, eateries, fast foods are always filled up.
Alero,
with
it's
families.
not just these days. I tell you, I grew up, going out with my folks on Sundays. We were always at Federal Palace Hotel. That's where we go to have lunch. You close from church, my father drives straight to that place. I used to hate the club sandwich those days. So we just sit down and have the family lunch. It's always, you have the buffet thing, and there were families there. I'm not saying women should not know how to cook. I don't like to eat out myself. There's one special place where I go to eat afang. I love it so much. I can't prepare it. I'm looking for who's going to teach me.
I'll volunteer to do that.
Okay, but I am I'm a kind of a home person when it comes to food. I would say women should learn to cook.
Yeah.
But when you now call women out to say, go and learn how to cook, what are you learning to cook? That's the truth. So you need to define what it is. There are so many ways to get through to that man that you want.
I
You've got
think
to
that
find
I think
out.
that it's a plus for
It's
any
a plus.
woman that knows how to cook.
it.
It is a
That's
plus
it.
because part of your responsibility is being a mother, a wife, is nurturing. And you can nurture not just your husband, but your children properly if you don't even have basic knowledge of what you're feeding them. And that goes beyond just knowing how to cook. How about the nutrition aspect of it? Like, if you don't cook in your house, you really don't know what goes into the food
Exactly.
you're feeding your family. That's my opinion. Let's look at feedbacks quickly before we continue. Jennifer says, honestly, it depends on what the man seeks. Some men do not want your cooking skills because they can get food anywhere.
Exactly.
There are other important things they look out for in a woman that can easily win them over. Cooking is also important, don't get me wrong, but truly I don't see cooking as the way to a man's heart. Farouk says, I love my wife's cooking. I love my wife cooking for me. Yeah. Okay, it's part of the package where you marry her. All right, Timmy from Ibadan says, no woman can win my heart by cooking because I can cook more than any woman. All right, Dele from Ofa says, Patience, food is only one of the ways, not the only way, please. All right, so Mr. Iwela, would
Would you
you
say something?
Yeah. Let me chip in this quickly.
Okay, quickly.
You see, aside from, like you said, food, knowing how to cook is an additional plus for you as a lady.
It's a plus.
For me, I also strongly think that what makes a complete lady, let's be real and honest here. You're beautiful, you're hardworking, you love your husband. I think it only makes more meaning for you to know how to cook as well. This is important. So this is a blanket advice now. Aside from food, that we say, okay, is somewhat a way to a man's heart. I think it is also equally very important that, okay, aside from food, what are the other important things to a man's heart? There are numerous things you can do to win a man's heart, no doubt. One of the biggest issues we have in Africa, particularly Nigeria, is that some of us, we only love our husband, just him alone, and we don't tend to consider his friends and his family members, which is very key. You can love your husband, but if you love your husband and you don't accept his family members, you can't go anywhere. Those people will stay and they will do anything to go against you, against that marriage. They'll frustrate that marriage, they'll frustrate the whole process. His friends also. When I was in school, I dated a girl who liked me and everything, who loved me. And she hated all my friends. I was like, this is not working. This won't work. All my friends, in fact, they give me all the feedback. This girl you're dating, are you sure she's the right material? Are you sure at the end of the day it don't work? I took this girl home sometimes. You know, this part of Nigeria, particularly Yoruba people, we have a culture. You can't greet your father-in-law and greet him shabbily. In fact, she was almost giving my dad a handshake. I said, I am, and this is a wife. So at the end of the day, my dad called me into the room and was like, where did you bring this girl from? I wouldn't
But
disclose.
did you teach her?
I can't teach her all those things.
Did you teach her?
I told her the thing is, you can't greet your father-in-law in that manner. She was like,
No, you should have taught her. That's
no, you see, I won't lie to you. Some girls are very adamant. Because I wouldn't lie to you. As a girl, sometimes, in fact, that's why as a girl or as a guy, you guys meet each other as strangers. So when you meet each other as strangers, you explore on that friendship and know, okay, what does this guy like? What does this boy like?
But I think it's your responsibility. You would have told her, when you meet an elderly person, you meet my
in
dad.
my culture,
In my culture.
A Yoruba girl for that matter.
Okay.
All right. That's
Now
So,
you just
you see,
don't
there are some
care.
things that some girls feel like, this is civilized world. How do you portray for?
And that's just
males?
exactly what it is right
So
now.
so you need to. I think. Let me just be very short and simple. To know the key to a man's heart is simple. Know the person you are dating, and know the things that makes him happy. And most importantly, as a lady,
his love language.
as a lady,
Yeah.
I think it is very important that we say that you must be intellectual. You must be very intelligent.
Simple.
If you're not, as a lady, if you're not intelligent, you can't get into any man's heart.
So even if you know how to cook for
You can
Africa
cook the old dishes
and
in
you're
the
not
world.
intelligent,
If you're not intelligent, it's a
it's
no-no.
a zero.
It's a
Okay.
no-no.
I just believe that for
Shake
every
me,
lady,
that's
you
a
should
very
be able to be supportive.
Okay.
You should be able to be supportive to your
Of course,
partner,
of
because
course.
without that,
I said that
without
last
the
week.
cheddars,
Very important. Yeah.
forget it.
But then I think men should cut women some slack. There are some people who are gifted. I'm talking from personal experience.
Yes,
There are people who are gifted in certain things and might not be so gifted in other things. Not everybody can really cook. Not because they are not interested in knowing how to cook, but you know how it is that you just put everything together, it just doesn't work, and all of that. But if you as a man, yes, you know that she's struggling with that and you truly love her, I think you can support her to get help. My younger sister, my immediate younger sister, she just can't cook. And she's always eager. If my mom says, who will cook today? She's always the first person.
Of course.
Always eager. But when she's done, like everybody, you have to look for maybe noodles or something else to eat, and all that. And she got married, earlier in her marriage, my mom would prepare different kinds of soup and take when the husband is away. And I told her, look, you're not helping. It's better you let him know this is her challenge. And at the end of the day, he got her enrolled in a cooking school and everything. And today she's better for it. So what I'm saying is men should support women too when it comes to some certain areas.
I hope we won't get to the stage where they say, women, you have to learn to pound yam. Hello. If you want to eat pounded yam,
I won't like
if
if you go on that route of pounded yam.
No.
In Nigeria now, if anybody tells you this is pounded yam, it's a lie. It's pounded yam.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't think any lady now
I can do
pounds
pounded
yam.
yam.
I don't think any lady pounds yam.
Do you know there's still some ladies that actually still cook with the firewood? Do you know that?
I don't know that.
I don't think so. I don't, because if the ladies of Nigeria, they marry a girl now and tell her, I won't buy gas cooker, it's firewood. She won't marry you.
She's done.
She's done with that
I'm
marriage.
done.
In fact, I won't even lie to you. I won't like. After my marriage, immediately we came back from honeymoon. The next thing we went to buy was the cooking gas. Because my wife told me, so in fact, it's not even thinkable.
And after that comes a microwave because
you
don't expect her to be warming up your food for you in the kitchen at 11 p.m.
I actually don't like
Yeah.
to put things in the freezer, put soups there for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I'm a 2-3 days kind
Okay.
of, once
That's
you
what
do
I
it,
You like
a
it
day,
fresh.
2 days, I love it fresh, do my vegetables, whatever I need to do, we'll do it. I will finish it at that time. But you ask me, where is the time to do all of that? You've got to make out time.
Meal
That's
prep.
the truth. You've got to make
There's
out
something
time.
called meal prep.
That's it. And there should be some kind of, how do I say it now? Maybe a timetable. You do this, I do that. That's how it works.
In
Nobody's
fact,
anybody's slave.
for me, when I see a lady in restaurants, I feel somehow it pricks me
Excuse
somehow.
me?
I don't know.
Why?
I seriously, I just feel that ladies.
You can decide to spoil yourself.
Exactly.
Spoil yourself instead. Relax yourself. All right, let's take more
Value
feedbacks. Adedapo from Ikorodu says, good food cooked by a wife is very important as a way to a man's heart. But what about some people who are constantly fasting? The most important is the total submission and respect for husband. I do a lot of cooking as a man as a result of training from my mother. Chidi from Ondo says, for a woman to know how to cook is very important because it brings more unity
And
in
intimacy.
the family. Fadekemi from Zamfara State says, to me, cooking is the best way to win a man's heart. All right, so it's different strokes for different folks. All right, let's take one more. This time is coming from Owerri in Imo State. Good day. I love this program. My name is Smiles Daniel, in bracket male. I'm a good cook. So I don't think a girl can use that to win my heart. Some men have different qualities they expect from a lady. For me, let the lady just be faithful, respectful, and most especially be good in bed. That's me. All right, so
Sorry,
like I said,
let me pause in the question.
okay.
The lady that said cooking so hard, cooking is the best way to a man's heart. Yes, she has a good submission, no doubt. But the thing is, you cannot, like we said, you can know how to cook 100%. But there are other habits as a lady that you might have that your spouse
It's
might
a
not
way
like.
hit it on the head.
On the head.
Sometimes you know how to cook and you don't know how to
cook.
perform in the
In the
bedroom.
bed. No, okay, in fact,
Why just hit it on the head?
if you go into the bed aspect, we will not leave there. No doubt.
let's not
I was
go
even going to talk about, okay, what if you know how to cook, you know how to do other things, and you have a bad sleeping habit?
Maybe she
Some men
snores.
cannot stand a woman that snores.
That snores.
Some men cannot stand a woman.
No, but don't go there.
Yes.
That's
When
actually
you
a
talk
sleeping
about
disorder.
it's a
Yes.
sleeping disorder.
Yeah,
But some men cannot. For
Some
me, I
men
cannot
can't
stand
stand
it.
it.
What
Can't.
What makes you think that you don't snore?
What makes you
Some
think
men
fact-
don't understand it as a sleeping disorder.
Do you know it's a challenge for people?
You know, until recently, my wife, I was sleeping. My wife recorded a audio when I was crying. I said, was this me?
That me?
There you
That's
go.
how come-
And for me, honestly, I can't stand a woman. So when she recorded it, I told her, "Are you sure this is me?" But I discovered that these days I work too hard. So it's possible. So I just said,
All right, so
okay,
maybe the
you know.
woman too, she worked too hard and that's why she's
Exactly.
snoring.
It's a disorder and
Yeah,
you
it is.
don't have to take it against people.
Yes.
Find
Get
a way
her
to
help.
manage it. That's the truth. It's like saying, I can't stick a man whose stockings stink.
Yeah.
What if your husband sweats a lot and his shoes and his socks
Smells,
stink or
yeah.
smell? What do? Are you going to throw it out of the house? You've got to find a way.
A way around it.
To
Around
manage
it,
the
to manage
situation.
it.
All right, let's move on because of time.
Yeah.
We'll take 2 more feedbacks and then we move on to the next thing. Maria Eze Ogbuka says, the basic is to know what your man wants. Food is necessary but not the utmost. I'm a woman. I believe men nowadays look more for intelligent and supportive women, not chefs.
Right.
But still, know a bit of everything. This one says, please, an African woman, you should know how to cook and wash